Welcome back to Askewed Reviews, and today we are doing another fan request, and it is for the 1970 adventure fantasy comedy Hercules in New York. Here is your trivia question for today. In the strongman contest against Monstro, what is the amount of weight Hercules can't lift? The answer will be at the end of this video. Our story starts up in Mount Olympus with the gods. And Hercules is getting a little bored and tired of being up here, so he wants to go down to Earth and be amongst the people. This, however, bothers Zeus, especially because Hercules keeps asking about it. So Zeus turns angry, throws a lightning bolt at him, and sends him down to Earth. Now Hercules has to deal with things like money and taxis, but he still gets his strength. Zeus grows irritated as, while watching Hercules, he doesn't feel Hercules is learning any lesson, so he decides to send down Nemesis. But Juno and Pluto have other ideas of what Nemesis can actually do to punish Hercules. All the while, down on Earth, Hercules is dealing with stuff like the mob. Now, Hercules does have some help down on Earth, with his best friend Pretzi, and of course Helen, the woman he just met, but is almost instantly in love with. So, of course, the big question becomes, will Hercules be able to stay down on Earth, or does he have to go back to the heavens with the other gods? The original title for the film was Hercules Goes Bananas. This movie was actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's first feature film. One of the big reasons that Arnold was able to get the role is that his agent said that Arnold did in fact have stage experience. However, he didn't mention that the stage experience was for bodybuilding and not being in a theater. Arnold's accent was actually so thick, though, that you may or may not have seen the original cut of the film. Because in the original version, they actually dubbed over his voice because they felt no one could understand him. Another big reason why Arnold even tried out for the film was because of a friend of his named Reg Park. Reg had actually already played Hercules in 3 other films, and really thought Arnold would do a great job in this one. Since the making of this film, though, Arnold has put a clause in his contract where if he goes to media interviews, he will not talk about this film unless it's already been brought up to him that that's going to be in the discussion. Another thing that they actually talked Arnold into for the film was changing his name for it. In the credits, it reads as Arnold Strong. One, because they thought no one would be able to read his last name correctly, and two, so it kind of played along with his co star's name of Arnold Stang. Arnold Stang, by the way, did appear in other movies and television, but you probably know him a lot more for his voiceover work. In fact, one of the most well known characters back in the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, he was the voice of Top Cat. Now, if you feel like you recognize him from something more recent, he did quite a few voices in Courage the Cowardly Dog. Arnold Stang is definitely one of the better parts of this movie, but it does have some moments that are amusing. For instance, falling out of the sky past the airplane windows, that ridiculous bear fight, even the chariot race was pretty amusing. But the biggest reason they made this film was to have Arnold Schwarzenegger shirtless as much as possible. So when it comes to the film Hercules in New York, I am sorry to say this is not a good movie. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger and I love most of his films, but the acting in this movie was not very good and it didn't have a good plot. So unfortunately, I'm going to give this movie a 1 out of 5. Now, as for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode, in the strongman contest against Monstro, what is the amount of weight Hercules can't lift? In the strongman contest, they both attempt to lift 1,000 pounds, which Monstro is apparently able to do, but Hercules is not. What's ridiculous about this is in real life, the most amount of weight done in the clean and jerk so far has been around 588 pounds. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. If there is a movie you'd like to see get a review, just mention it in the comments. And as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe.